Hey you guys, my name is Stella Kittrell and today we are going to be talking about my loose skin removal and what that process is looking like so far. I said a couple years ago that I was considering getting it, but I found out some pretty cool updates I want to share with you guys today and where I am in the process, so let's get into it. This video is going to be a little bit more chill. I need to do my nails. I stopped going to get my fingernails done at the salon maybe last year. I think the last time I went to the salon to get my fingers done was my wedding. Ever since then I've been doing my own press-ons. This video in no way is sponsored. Let me be very clear. I buy these all myself. I go through them, they're great. I get about 5 uses out of them. This is from the brand BT Art Box. You can buy them on TikTok Shop or Amazon. I'll link both of them down below. I do whatever's cheaper at the time. My nails are prepped, so I'm just gonna size and go. So my loose skin surgery. Now, if you guys are kind of newer here or don't know who I am, my loose skin journey has been very up and down. I did have weight loss surgery. My 4-year anniversary was June 1st. And one thing that's always been brought up is loose skin. I have an apple-shaped body, but mainly because I still have a lot of loose skin. It's to the point where I'm at the weight I am now where I can catfish pretty well with a pair of shapewear once I suck in on my loose skin. One of the topics of conversation has been, you know, when are you getting your loose skin removed? Now, when people lose weight, it's not mandatory that you get your loose skin removed, but it can get uncomfortable. I'm someone who's never really cared to. I didn't lose weight initially for aesthetic purposes, so it's not like that was the goal at the end of however much weight I lost. But I've had some developments over the last year. I had some issues when I first got surgery, like rashes and chafing, and then I lost like 40 pounds back of my post weight loss surgery weight. For the last 6 months, I've actually been documenting with my doctor all my rashes, and like she literally has to take pictures because I do qualify to get skin removal surgery for free with my insurance. There are some hiccups, so I want to talk about it. So the procedure is called a panniculectomy. It's not a cute procedure, nor will I feel the most confident afterward, which is why I'm not incredibly pressed to get it done. With a panniculectomy, they are sincerely, in the rawest form, cutting your skin off. So for example, this is what my tummy looks like, and with the panniculectomy you'll see they just cut straight across. And why this is cool, it's because it's free. Why it's not so cool for myself is because this is not cosmetic. This is like medically necessary, which is why my insurance is offering it for free. Where does that leave us? All the other things that I probably need to look into further is a breast reduction for sure, because my loose skin in my boobs is causing me some issues. Basically how I feel nowadays, especially since losing weight again this year, is I feel like my body leans forward. I feel very forward heavy. And a big relief for myself is helping that, because I never felt that even when I had the weight, is shapewear. Anything that I wear that sucks me in, lifts me up, lifts up all this heavy skin that's not being used, it is so much relief on my body. But I have started getting lower back issues. I've started getting upper back issues. I pulled my back twice last year, and then now I'm rashing again. So it's not sexy at all. With the panniculectomy, it's a blessing that that is free, but that does not include the tummy tuck or anything to make my stomach look pretty or reconstructive, like getting a new belly button. The good thing that can happen is you can do both at the same time. So if I would like to schedule both, I can. If I want to pay out of pocket for the cosmetic part of it, that's totally fine. Now, we'll get back into that, but another issue that we are facing is my desire to get pregnant. What's the whole point of this? What's the point of going under surgery if I'm gonna get pregnant and stretch my stomach back out? That's something I've considered. I'm very indifferent at this point. I just want to speak very candidly, because I used to be so wish-washy, like, do I want to have kids first, do I not? And I spent so long questioning if I wanted to have kids or not. This is before I even knew insurance would cover it. At this point, in all honesty, at this point, I'll take whatever comes first. If I pursue having children in the midst of my weight loss and I get pregnant, okay, we'll follow through with my first child and then reconsider this topic. If not, I have another doctor's appointment tomorrow. She's gonna take another picture of my rash, but I think I've hit my 6-month mark required for surgery. Technically, after tomorrow's appointment, I'll have enough for a case to get my panniculectomy for free. If that comes this year, I'm very hands off. I think I spent so much time making myself stay in the same body for a multitude of reasons, for emotional reasons, for physical reasons, for financial reasons, that I'm just kind of like over it. I'm over the indecisiveness, and I'm really truly flowing with wherever life has me right now. I'm about 24 hours away from being able to get approved for this surgery. I do have a risk of surgery just with like some health stuff that you guys have been through with me, including my blood. I have a couple of blood issues, and it's very annoying, and any surgery for anyone is risky, but for someone like me, autoimmune issues, it's especially risky. And is it worth it? Which is also part of the mental anguish of, do we do it, do we not, do we do it, do we not? It's like, do I want to possibly die? No. But unfortunately, your girl, if she wasn't already not living in fear, fear fears me, and I don't have a lot of fear anymore. This is genuinely how I feel. It's gonna sound very morbid, but if I die, I die. I truly live very full of faith and smart. You know, there's wisdom in your life choices, but I'm seriously at the point of like, okay, if it's my time to go, it's my time to go. But if things are lining up, I trust that things are lining up for my good and not for my harm. It's definitely taken me a long time to just say, you know, like whatever happens, it's okay. And I've made a lot of peace with my life. As you guys know, I am someone who, especially if you've been here 10 years ago, I was working a corporate job, I was working 9 to 5, and I've spent the last decade of my life living life to the fullest. I've pursued everything on my heart. I don't rest, and I have no peace in my heart until the promises that were made for me are fulfilled. That's just how I live my life. There's so much more I have purpose to do. There's so much more I want to do. So I'm not saying, oh, I'm done living. But if that were the case, and I was conscious enough to see myself, or, you know, if I died and I looked down, I'd say, you know what, I lived a really good life and I'm not mad at it. So in the worst case possible, if, you know, things didn't work out in that surgery, I want you guys to know, like, if this is like a horrible thing to say, I lived a good life and I'm really happy. It's giving me anxiety, but I do, you know, I just need to say these things because it's important. I advocate for everyone in my life to live, because you just never know when it's your last day. I just want to make that really clear, that if you're not pushing yourself to live the happiest life in the means that you can right now, just like, we can't take this life for granted. We get one. Well, I believe we get one. Some people don't. So in the other end of that's one thing, is the blood disorder, and then the kids. There's just a lot of what if. So I really kind of got tired. Once my rashes started being pretty consistent, that's when I decided I really needed to look into this. It was either the end of last year or the beginning of this year. I made a video and someone had brought up the procedure again and said that their insurance covered it in one of my comments on YouTube. And at that point I was like, you know what, let me just go to my doctor. We did research on my insurance. We found out what it would take, and we're in that process, and that process is pretty much over. The only other hurdle I could have for being approved for the surgery is my weight. So I did just lose another 30 pounds, and that is not good because you need to have the same weight for 6 months consistently, and I don't know what that range is. I don't know if it's 5 pounds, if it's 10 pounds. So that's just something else that could delay this process. Again, I'm very much on vibes. I'm very much on what's for me is for me. So the best thing I can do is just keep showing up and keep pursuing. And if, you know, there's a block saying, hey, you just lost 30 pounds 2 months ago, you gotta wait another 4 months, okay, but at least it would be something on the books. Like, that's kind of how I feel. At least it would be movement. At least it would be something to look forward to and not just so in the air. So I think that's pretty cool. I'm definitely also over the idea that I need to lose a lot more weight before this surgery, mainly because when I look at myself with shapewear on and I see how sucked in and snatched I am, I see a very big difference, and it's not enough for me to be like, oh, I need to lose. I don't see it as all weight in my head. Obviously I still have fat in my body, like, let's not be delusional, but I do see how much skin I have, and I'm not super pressed to lose much more. I'm very curious to see how many pounds of skin I do have on my body, because it is heavy, and the more weight I lose and the less that space is filled, the more I feel it, and it's just very frustrating. Some things I've talked about in the past very publicly are like running. When I was in my running era, I would really love to be my running era again, but when I don't have compression clothes on. Like, I'm at the point now where I need compression on pretty much at all times. It is very uncomfortable. Like, for me to wear a dress like I'm wearing today, it's just a very casual, like, throw on dress. These are things I used to just wear all the time. It's uncomfortable. If my boobs aren't supported, I like this dress because it supports my boobs. It doesn't feel great. So like when I used to run, I realized if I wasn't wearing compression, my body would flap. That was really uncomfortable, but I think just as I'm getting older, it's getting worse. Like, things are getting worse. And then weight loss, again, propelled some of the symptoms I've been feeling too. So eligibility is not a question. I've been eligible. I've been in process, and really it's just a matter of being in process and seeing what happens. I'm not super opposed to it. You know, after tomorrow, if she's like, okay, let's submit it to insurance, and if next week insurance called me, I'd book it. I'm not opposed to booking it, which is a big deal for me too, because I used to hold myself back. I used to have a lot of mental issues. Like, after I lost my initial weight in 2021, I went through a lot of body dysmorphia, a lot of questioning who I was in my new body. I'd never been 250 pounds. I think the last time I was 250 pounds before 2021, I want to say I was in middle school. Years and years, like over half my life. And I just didn't know who that person was. I was so used to being almost 400 pounds. I had tied so much of my identity into being bigger, and I've grown so much. I've learned how to show up as me in the world without the qualification of being a big girl. I've learned how to be confident with who I am outside of what I look like or what I do. And I've just made a lot of personal growth that's made it easier to do that. Now, the doctor. I have a doctor in mind for the cosmetic portion. Something that I'm really considering is getting a consultation with the doctor after I get approval. So that would be kind of my next step, finally booking a consultation with him. I haven't because I wasn't ready. And then this opportunity came before me ever scheduling my consultation. So now that I'm in process, I would want a consultation with him. What does that look like? I'm definitely sure I'm not the first patient ever to, you know, have the opportunity to have part of it for free versus going to him. He is cosmetic, obviously. So what does that look like? If I go get my panniculectomy, can I go back to him and the other half of the surgery? Or can he do everything? Like, he does the best work I've ever seen in my life. I trust that I picked a good doctor. He's in Ohio. I don't know. I would just want to see what he can say. And to be fair, I could definitely do the consultation now and tell him, hey, like, I'm almost approved for the panniculectomy. Like, how does that work with your office? I could definitely have these conversations now. Quite frankly, I'm going on a girls trip next month to Bali, and my brain is pretty much just focused on letting that be the best trip ever. So that's my focus in life right now. And then my 30th birthday is going to be right after I come back. So it hasn't been the most prominent thing on my brain, but it definitely is something to think about now that my 6-month mark is approaching, where, hey girl, like, if you really want to get something done, if you want to submit something to your insurance about getting this done, like, you can. I'm very proactive. Usually I do things very last minute. I'm very kind of ahead of the game right now. So I'm not stressing it. I'm not sweating it. And frankly, I was thinking about this morning too, when I was thinking about making this video. I would really maybe like to have at least a panniculectomy done before having kids too. And then maybe having my first child, I'll go in and go get the plastic surgery part, the cosmetic part, which would be making my belly button. I don't know, like, okay, there's a couple things too. Yesterday, this is not related at all, but yesterday I was like, I should go get my belly button pierced. Secondly, I feel like we should do it because if I go get the free surgery through my insurance, I won't have a belly button, which is fine, but I feel like I should pierce mine because I've always wanted to do that too. So why not just go out with a bang? Yeah, my belly button's been getting infected too. It's so bad. I have this medicine from my doctor, and I literally have like 4 tubes sitting in my house because every time I go in for the picture, like, she has to document it and then prescribe me this topical. The topical works. It's just like as soon as it clears up, it's like I get like a good week before it's back, and it's just very frustrating. It feels like it's just part of my daily routine. And I never even thought about the long-term effects of it until right now, which is also very interesting. Yeah, I think I'm in a definite new headspace about the whole thing. Takes me a lot to say I'm willing to go under anesthesia. I'm willing to go under the knife. It takes me a lot to do that. So to be at the point where I'm like, okay, like, I'm confident in my decision. I don't care about the timeline. I just know I'm in process. It could literally, guys, like, I don't even think I realized this till making this video. It could literally be 3 months from now. It could actually be September that I have a date planned. I don't know. But I know I'm probably gonna get approved for it because I'm overqualified. The only thing that we are waiting on is time. I think it's about 12 weeks downtime too, where I can't do anything, which is also super interesting. Did the first round of my nails Now all I have to do is the top coats. I mean, I just want to also say thank you for asking. I know it's something, anything that I talk about publicly, I'm definitely always willing to follow up on, or like where I am with it. So I'm definitely not offended by it. One of the biggest blessings about my stomach and the way I'm shaped and how I've lived my entire life with this kind of belly, it's like taught me a level of self-awareness it's taught me a level of self-awareness I'm so grateful for, because when you lose the stomach, right, when they do the surgery and they take off the excess skin and you're not going back, you literally have no hanging skin. It's like, wow, I could love myself when I look like that. I never hated myself when I look like that. I grew up, I transformed, I became the best version of me while looking like that. I fell in love while looking like that. I was confident and I grew even more confident, and I wore what I want, and I celebrated who I was through it all. I think that's what I'm gonna be so excited to take out of it. An opportunity that most people will never get, to be in a circumstance where society looks at you like a freak and you're able to overcome people's opinions and truly live and not just survive through that. I'm so grateful that I had this experience to live like this. And I'm speaking like it's already done, because in some timeline it is, but even if it never is, I got to a place genuinely where I could just be me, and that was enough. And I don't know if you guys remember when I was dating a few years back, I would always say, I wish I found my husband fat. I want to make sure he loves me for me. But it's kind of the same sentiment. It's like I get to look at myself and say, girl, you loved yourself. You loved yourself with a hanging belly and looks and stares of people and comments online, and like, you did that. You did that. You still showed up for yourself every day. You broke barriers. You chased your dreams. You did anything you wanted to in life, and you didn't separate yourself from the world because the world wanted to separate you from it. The haters would be like, oh, that's so conceited, but the world doesn't also understand what it took for me to get to a place in life where I loved myself as I was. I'm very, very grateful, and I'm excited. I'm at peace with my bigger body, and that was something else that needed to happen too, like me becoming at peace with my bigger body, because that's why I stalled my weight loss at 100 pounds. So it's all good stuff. But yeah, that's my update for you. I obviously, you know, I haven't mentioned anything thus far. I've been kind of offline, just enjoying my first year of marriage. But as I get the final details in a couple months, whatever that looks like, I'll definitely make sure to update you. You know everything I know, you feel everything I'm currently feeling. There's nothing I left out. So there's nothing more that's happening that I haven't already shared. So anything else, I'll just let you know in the future what's going on. We're really just taking it day by day. I am almost done with my nails. I finished one hand, but don't they look so good? If you're also interested in doing your own at-home gels, they last like 2 weeks for me. They're great. They're my favorite part of the week. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It's always so nice to catch up with you guys, and I'll talk to you guys really, really soon. Have a good day, and bye-bye.